I was just talking about with people on Twitch, because this point on I gotta start doing behind the scenes for Twitch. So try to get more followers on Twitch so I can do that. And plus, like with YouTube Live, you get to see a little bit of the behind the scene, but not as much as you get to see it on Twitch. So behind the scenes, then you get to see the actual show. So what we're gonna talk about for those who's watching on YouTube, talk about last night's Bucks and Pacers game. Maybe a little bit more about the Bucks future, but we will not like talk about all of that. That will be on a separate video. Results of TNA Rebellion. On top of that, I did see majority of that, as I told the people on Twitch. Um, just a few things that we talk about that's going on in the city of Milwaukee. Then we're gonna talk about a little bit of the movie that's gonna come out this Friday from Marvel Studios, which would be the Thunderbolts. And you got people that seen the screen test of it, and well, the thing is, this is one of the few movies that I believe did not have no reshoots. So that's saying something. And I guess for everybody, Marvel done it right. But then again, you seen like some of the screen tests they did from Captain America, before they did the whole reshoot. Like, you know, they were saying like, it was terrible, it was bad and all that stuff. And so, and it featured at the time it featured like too many Hulks. So why not get like, put Hulks in like a movie that, you can try to see if anybody was favorite the Werewolf Hulk. So probably other fans may have a different opinion if that would have came out compared to what some people saw on the screens as. But with the Brave New World, like they saw the final screen test. So yeah, they ended up loving it. But like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I guess it was just like a few things maybe they was missing. Like I'm saying, with the needs to be a little bit more of a connection to the multiverse saga. You didn't have that much of it until like the closing point. The post credit scene, which was talking about that. So that was the only thing you probably would get out of that. That talked about the multiverse. But otherwise, the movie was just mostly building more the character of the new Captain America. So hey Roberto, I'm doing good. Um, but yeah, so maybe a lot to talk about, but let me get this. Okay, I can get that zoom out of there. So let's start doing the screencast. Um, okay, that one is not needed, and thanks. Yeah, I did cut my hair did earlier last week, but this crazy thing is my hair kind of grows like a little bit faster than it should, so nothing I can do with that. But yeah, thanks for that. Um, let's see, get the screencast. Let's set this up. Hopefully you have no problems with this, and here we go. Three, two, one. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to WFSO Aftermath Special. Special edition. We at times do it on Mondays if there's a chance that we may have to miss doing it on Sunday. Like I know it was one point we did it on a Monday, but I think it was like last year or the year before we started doing it back to Sundays, just because it seemed like it made more sense to. Hello, Alberto. So we just thought it was like makes sense for doing aftermath on a Sunday. But if there's gonna be some Sundays that we ain't gonna be able to do, we're gonna do it the next day, which is today, Monday. Um, can I get a uh? If you be on here like a little bit more, maybe, but I can't just like give it to you just like that. But if you be on here like more and more, then we will see about that. but I can't just make mods in just like that. So, and just be fair about everybody else. Could be people that want to be a mod on here, so you never know. So if I see you on here more, then I might give you a chance. But what are we gonna talk about today? The last night's disaster on the Bucks game. We're gonna talk about that. Results of TNA Rebellion. We will talk about that. A little bit of Milwaukee news. We will talk about that. And about this Friday's movie that's coming out. Thunderbolts. There's some Wrestling Incorporated. And I know I told some people that I promised to break down some of the stuff that because LA now got money in the bank where it should have been going to us. So talk about a little bit about that, and I will hey footballer, and if the wife is still up, I'll have her talk about a little bit of what my source was telling her. So I wasn't there at the moment for what was talked about, but she got to talk to my source, and she can explain everything if she's still up. Um, let's see. Just in case there's some wrestling news, we might talk about that as well. So, well, apparently y'all probably did saw Monday Night Raw, so insane and crazy or whatever. Yeah, I remember you. But yeah, and plus you thinking like after WrestleMania you got Backlash, like next Saturday. So it's insane. Matches, they got to build up right quick. But I think I kind of understand too, especially where they're going with having money in the bank in early June, then July maybe they have the Evolution PLE that's probably going to happen. Then a couple of NXT's of PLEs and a few Saturday Night's main event, which they got one going on next month, and July they really didn't have an official date on that one, so maybe possible we might get Saturday's night main event. You never know. Thanks, footballer. But yeah, let's get to this game, which the Bucks never led the entire game. And as y'all see, the fourth quarter was like a big disaster. Um, but the Pacers didn't get no farther than they was up by 12 with this game. But I think they didn't get no farther than that. You see, like the Bucks try to get like a little bit closer, but you know, defense. They can't stop the three. They worry about doubling the person that's going to attack the paint. And yeah. Oh, you talk about the NFL draft. Guess we can talk about a little bit of that. Yeah, they announced Sunday. The attendance for the whole 3 days. You got a place like Green Bay that only has over 100,000 people living there, and you got like maybe was it like 5 times as much combined for those 3 days, for over 600,000 people there for those 3 days for the draft. Yeah. And plus, yeah, there were some drama in the draft too. So I guess I can talk about that a little bit. I was a little upset with the Packers first round pick because I thought they should have went with something besides a wide receiver, because it's like you already got your young wide receiver you want to build for the future, and you decided get somebody else instead of not looking for free agency for a veteran wide receiver that could have been good. I know they missed out on Devontae Allen, like bringing him back. I think he ended up signing with the Rams, but especially they all try to offer some veterans. They try to lowball them, just to say that, but just never put money toward try to get like a few veterans in there. Like the veterans that they have, they don't want to keep. They want to let them go and focus on somebody like younger. I can understand that, but not all players. This goes like to NBA too. Like not all professional players are going to develop that quick, and I think that's one of the issues with Green Bay. Like I told myself, after that run they had, not this past playoffs, but the playoffs before, that I wasn't going to question anything with Green Bay trying to build through youth. But at the same time, with the first round draft pick, it was kind of hard to ignore. And I just have to say something about it. Like, why you couldn't go for a veteran wide receiver that can like help these guys and know they can know what to do and stuff like that. Not all wide receivers gonna know, oh, okay, we can get pressure off, this guy that's getting past the ball, but this and that. So I don't know. It's like a wait and see. I think they got training camp coming up in June, so maybe get a chance to look at the guys. And like I say, I do respect the guy that they picked. So the wide receiver they got from Texas, um, nice polite guy, and seemed like he was happy to be there in the beginning, but I think he was more happier that he got picked by Green Bay. So that shows being humble and passionate about the sport. So maybe he'll change my mind and be like, okay, that was a good pick. The rest of the picks, like I said, don't know much about it. I don't watch college football, but I thought the other picks for that the Green Bay had picked were at least decent. Focus a little bit on defense, but it seemed like there was a little bit more like offense than defense. Which the problem ain't their offense, the problem was their wide receivers. You know, dropping the ball or can't catch or can't make a moment. Because I know it's not all just on the quarterback, but it's got to be on your receivers too. But Shooter Sanders, wow, got bounced all the way down to the fifth round. He got picked by the Cleveland Browns. Um, if y'all probably know more of the story than I do with that situation, like why he was picked all the way down to the fifth round and he was predicted to be picked in the top 10. Um, I think it was just something. I could be wrong on this one, but it was either about his ego, how he was at the NFL Combine, or it had something to do with his father. Deion Sanders, of course, y'all know who he is. Was like being all cocky and confident about his son in the media, which that's a no no. And, and I think some people didn't learn about what happened with with the Ball brothers with their father, overhyping them and not just like, okay, no, my son is gonna be great. Like you can have confidence in your son or whatever, but don't go overtime. Like oh, Lonzo Ball's gonna win them the championship. I'm like, yeah, that's overbearing. And I guess it will fit for Lombard Ball, his ego. That's probably what it was. Oh, okay. Thanks for correcting that. The only reason he didn't get picked that early was his teamwork skills. Oh, okay, okay. Thanks for correcting me because I wasn't sure because I was just hearing like things left and right about it. Just like oh, either he's being cocky about it or his father was being cocky about it, and it kind of like damaged him. So thanks for clearing that for me, footballer. Um, but yeah, overall, I didn't get to go down there to Green Bay. Uh, I think it would have been like a crazy hassle and a half. And like when it was still like capacity there was people that could not like go in. That watch from the line. So and plus I didn't want to deal with that. And plus my anniversary was Thursday, so I had to spend time with the wife and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't go down there. So there was probably more, but it just that mostly. Oh, okay, gotcha. Because I know a lot of people was behind him, like and some people too. And I even got some friends online that was behind this guy too. So like I said, I don't know the whole. I don't know the whole story, just like from what I heard and just going by that. So you could be right. It could be more than just the teamwork skills. So you could be right about that one. But I'm saying you could be right that there could be more than that. But anyways, back to this game. Um, Giannis, constantly, playing like hero ball. But although I think he only had like 5 or 6 assists, but he should have had more. Is because if a team knows what you're going to do and you still try that anyway, that's going to cause turnovers. That's going to cause block shots, and it's going to cause you to like making no crazy moves. Like at times for Giannis, it worked for him because of course nobody can stop him 1-on-1. But if you got like 2 or 3 people, that's not always going to work. Like if you got like a smaller player on them, then yeah, 2 smaller players on them trying to hold them, understandable, take them on. But you got people that your height or like same height like Miles Turner, and you got Pascal Siakam on you as a double team. And although Pascal Siakam is number like 6'8", 6'9", but he is good at defending you, and you gotta try to pass the ball. And most of the times he didn't do that. And it's just like the problem is he's gonna be like able hard like to trust his team. So all them people that have been putting out there, oh, Giannis gonna leave. He's gonna go to Miami. He's gonna go to Brooklyn or things like that. Um, Even if that's the case, and I know there's some Bucks fan that was thinking that they should trade him and get like value. Um, I think the thing is, build around Giannis, and his mid range did improve this season, and although he's not shooting that many 3 points, and I know everybody expecting him, be this good 3 point shooter, but I got a question for some of those people. Did Shaq ever needed a 3 point shot for him to be great? No. You just gotta play on your individual sets, which Giannis have, but I guess if he, end up decide, I'm gonna really develop a 3 point shooting, and if you do that, yeah, why not? But I'm just one of those people that don't expect him to do everything. The only thing like I expect him to work on is his free throw shooting. Because it looked like at times at games he got it down, then it's like the next day it's like, what happened? Um and I know, he's been carrying the team. I know that. But and I know, some of the bench with some of the players that they got were a problem too. But yeah, this is the first time in a few years that Giannis had been, in the playoffs since he took like the Celtics to a game 7, and yeah, we know how that ended. And that was without Chris Middleton. Was I was saying I will not try to like mention that name, but it's just everybody just talk about we was better off for injured Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Um, Drew Holiday maybe, but he was getting older. And I know it didn't make no sense for them to like trade, Dame, and he's going to be, older too. Um, you don't need a 3 point shot for people to think that you're good. You literally just have to defend, steal, pass, and shoot. Exactly. And that is the right thing to say too. That is correct. It's just like some people just expect so much out of certain people that that's probably like not their skill set. Like sometimes okay, with Jason Kidd, he didn't develop a 3 point shot until like maybe like his 10th or 11th year in the NBA. So with some people it's gonna take time. Maybe Giannis will never get like a 3 point shot or be like consistent with it. But I'm not expecting him to do that like every single game. Like I said, the only thing I just have concern with him is his free throw shooting. That's it. like I said, mid range getting better, and the other problem he has, he needs to start trusting his team. So people that thinking that okay, they're gonna get Giannis and they're gonna expect, they trade him for like another team or something like that, you're gonna end up with the same problem. He's not gonna trust his team. That he needs to do that. Yeah, there's some games he does like trust his team, and when he gets like triple doubles, most of the time they win their games. And it's just a problem is I don't think he like sees that like you can do more than just like score and stuff and be a good rebounder and block some shots. So, and part of me was thinking like, what happened to that 2020 defensive player of the year, Giannis? So yeah, so I'm saying like he is slipping a little bit, and yeah, like sure Curry and Curry can make 3-point shots, but he doesn't have every part down. Mostly it's just the 3-point shots. Yeah, exactly. That's true because somebody could be players could be focused on 3-point shooting, but they get everything else screwed up. So footballer, that is a good point. But it's just overall, I do like the pieces that the Bucks got at the trade deadline. Although people still have issues with no Kyle Kuzma, but you can still work with Kyle Kuzma over the summer and things can like work out. So the bonding with Dame and Giannis earlier in the season, but before they finally got it right, that stuff that teamwork and connection started working out. Then Giannis was out for a game, then Dame was out for a game, and all that other stuff. So it just sucks that everybody knows Dame did get injured. He's gonna be out for the rest of the playoffs and probably most of next season as well. So yeah, but well, it's one good thing is of like they got Ryan Rollins. They can develop him over the season, be like a good two guard. So I know we don't have like a true point guard, but we got players that can dribble and can actually like pass and can shoot as well. Can defend. So we got that with Ryan Rollins and the other person we got during the trade deadline, Kevin Porter Jr., which we did originally did drafted before we traded him to Cleveland for some reason. I don't know. Probably had something to do with getting some draft picks. But yeah. It, anyways, so I just hope they keep their pieces, and plus, Gary Trent Jr. Was getting better over the days. But then again, the first couple of weeks it wasn't good because he probably wasn't used, to the system that Doc is. So now he knows more of, be like, everybody, shoot, around like Giannis, they gotta have shooters. So nothing wrong with that. But like I said, like Giannis really gotta trust his team more. He really does. And some people got to start hitting like shots consistently because you got Kevin Porter Jr. Not yesterday's game, but the game before Friday when they won, he had like 1 point and like, but still had 6 assists. So yeah, he had that. But then you have a game last night. I think he scored like 23 points, I believe, and I think he still had 5 or 6 assists. So that's fine, especially a guy that's not really like a true point guard, but he's doing good. But I can go on about this, but like I said, I'm gonna say some of it for like a different video that I'm gonna, actually talk about the Bucks' future and stuff like that. So I will drop something. Um, they may have a second round pick this year for that Kuzma and Middleton trade and the like Spurs trade. Not saying teammates are bad. it is just sometimes you can't fully trust them to make a shot. I do get that, but if you're going to keep on in the same route like Giannis is and not trusting his team, you're not going to get back to where you were in 2021 and win a championship. And that's part of the few issues that the Bucks have. Besides that, and plus they don't need to re-sign Brook Lopez. Just let him go. Because he's like the oldest player on the team. But yeah, mainly just let him go. If you do have that second round pick, get either a center or a true point guard, or get like a center in the off season. But end up keeping well, Bobby Porter's got a player option, so he might keep it. But also with Jericho Sims, good rebounder and can keep up with from 1 to 5. So he can keep up with the best of them, and could be a good defender too. But just gotta like put him in that path. So this is mainly I'm just saying that you get rid of those parts, and I hate to say it, but you might have to get rid of Doc Rivers too, because after this season, they're done paying Coach Bud, so they off the books on that, but they still on the books with Adrian Griffin. So I think it's a few more years for him. Then of course with no Doc, I think it's like 3 more years. So yeah, so either promote Doc to president of basketball operations or something, or let him go. He got a good basketball mind, but I think some of the moves that he does, like some of the like the move he did yesterday, put Jericho Sims and Brook Lopez on the floor, that worked. But his timing on taking them out was the problem. Because it was seems like Bucks was on the verge, come back and stuff like that. Then suddenly you like put Giannis in, like no, wait till to get like very close, then would have put him in. But that's just me. But I did like that lineup that Doc Rivers did. But it was just he just took them out. Well, he took Jericho Sims out at the wrong time. But I'm glad he's playing them a little bit more, but just not more enough. At least should be a little bit more than Brooke. Um, oh no, I understand. You get like that at times with me. I understand. But anyways, let's get to these quarter numbers. Of course, Indiana, led Milwaukee 24-30. Then you got the second quarter, 33 Pacers, 28 Bucks. Um, then you got the highest scoring quarter that the both teams have actually 38-32 in the third. Then you got the fourth quarter where both teams scored the lowest with Indiana 28. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. 28-19. Yeah, just my other dog Libby. She's kind of like getting a little old, and yeah, we just right now just taking her like one day at a time. Come here. Come here, I got you. Come here. There you go. Let's say I apologize, Libby. Go ahead and lay down. Um Jonas does have some trust issues. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. That's true. But anyways, let's get to the team status. Start with the Pacers first. Um 50-83 with a little over 60% from the field. Um Pacers shot a little bit better 3-pointer wise, and well, we know the reasons why, because they was always left wide open, which is like the issue. Like you can't just leave like people got players with 3-point shooters, because that's what it is now. It's like players are going to be good 3-point shooters if you're left them wide open. So 18-39 with 46.2% from three. Only missed 2 free throws, 11 to 13 with 85% from the free throw line. Um, yeah, of course, Pacers are not a good rebounding team with only 5 offensive rebounds with a total of 41. Better passing team with 36 assists, 3 steals, 7 blocks. Probably was most of them were probably like Miles Turner. I wouldn't be surprised by that. And with 11 turnovers, which is really okay. Cool. See you later. Um, but yeah. Then you got the Bucks. Uh, well, they really didn't have that bad turnovers. I think they were just not hitting shots. I think that was the issue. But 37 to 89 with I would say that 42% from the field. That's not great. Um 15 to 37, which is 41% from three, not too bad. Free throw shooting was not too bad either with 14 to 17 with 82.4% from the free throw. A little bit better offensive rebounds with 9. But the Pacers did out rebound. 25 assists, like I said, there needs to be up there a little bit more. But that is an average, but the Bucks just need to be a little bit more. That's just my opinion. 6 steals, only 1 block, and I think that only block was by Brook. So that's another problem. And shockingly, not bad turnovers with only 7. So taking care of the ball is good, but it's just not, scoring is really a problem. So that's just something, they just need to work on. Okay, now let's get to the player stats. We'll start with the Pacers first. Uh I'm sorry. Pascal Siakam didn't score that much, but was like kind of a factor defensive wise. He had 12 points, 1 block, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 of 2 from the free throw, 0 of 2 from three, but 5 of 10 from the field. You got Aaron Nesmith with 14 points. I think, yeah, he had the highest plus minus with plus 26. 1 block, 5 rebounds, 2 of 2 from the free throw, 2 of 5 from three, and 5 of 8 from the field. Uh, Miles Turner, led the team with 23 points, 4 blocks. I knew most of the blocks would have to be by him. Um, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 of 5 from the free throw, 1 of 3 from three, and 9 of 13 from the field. Andrew Nimhard, 20 points, 1 steal, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 of 8 from three, and 8 of 14 from the field. Um, then got Tyrese Halliburton, kind of slowed down a little bit, but was getting like some points when it counts. He had 17 points. Had the most turnovers with 5. 1 steal, 15 assists, so double double. 8 rebounds, so near triple double again. 3 of 4 from the free throw, 2 of 5 from three, and 6 of 11 from the field. The bench, yeah. What can you say? The bench actually, crushed it. Besides, the starting 5. Obi Toppin somehow had like a great 3-point shooting besides what he had on Friday. Um, 13 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. That was offensive rebound. 3 of 4 from three and 5 of 7 from the field. Jarvis Walker with 12 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 of 5 from three and 4 of 5 from the field. Then you have TJ McConnell. Didn't score a lick on Friday, but scored a lot today. Uh, Yesterday, I should say. 15 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds with 1 offensive rebounds, 1 of 2 from three, and 7 of 10 from the field. That's crazy. So, well, our star lineup didn't do any better. Um, yeah, we already know like Damian, like 6 minutes into the game, he got injured. So yeah, but Giannis led the game with 28 points. I think he got the lowest plus. Yeah, he got the lowest plus minus with minus 28. Only 2 turnovers, so not too bad on that. 1 steal, 6 assists. It needs to be higher. 15 rebounds, so double double with 4 offensive rebounds. Good 10 to 11 from the free throw, so that's very good. Only 0-1 from three, but 9 or 20 from the field because he only scored like 8 points in the first half. Then rest of his points came in the second half. Sorry, just nose is constantly glitching. There's not much to say about with the Kyle Kuzma situation. Like I say, he does need some work, so I'm not going to fully just say, "Oh, he's a terrible player. Get him out of here," or whatever. So I don't know if they do, they do lose this series and stuff like that. Like I said, you got to work with Kyle Kuzma on the off season. Try and turn to like better player. Maybe maybe a little bit better than what Giannis is. Have him work with him and get that that connection going on. And and it just sucks. It seems like Kyle Kuzma. He takes it in, but it seems like he scares when he shoot it. So that's probably one of the things he got to work on is like no fear. So this is one of the things you just need to work on. Yeah, we ain't talking about Brooks. Gary Trent. I wouldn't say he didn't have a bad shooting night. I just think he just didn't have enough attempts to do anything, or nobody's like setting him up to get like a good shot. Only But anyways, and talk about the bench. On the bench, they did pretty decent. Yeah, Bobby Portis a little bit better than Friday with 14 points, 1 assist, only 3 rebounds, 2 of 4 from three, and 6 to 10 from the field. Uh, like I said, they need to play Jericho Sims more, so hopefully they do that. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. Led the bench with 23 points, only 2 turnovers, so not too bad. 2 steals, 6 assists, which is not bad. 5 rebounds with 1 offensive rebounds. 5 of 7 from three, but 9 to 17 from the field. So he's got to be the future. Either they have him like point or shooting guard, and they really need to sign him. And no, he got a player option. I'm sorry. No, either I think it's a team option they got. So he's not a free agent. I think they just got a team option on him. So and I hope the Bucks actually collect his like team options. So hopefully they will do that. AJ Green once again 9 points, 3 assists, not too bad. Only 1 rebound. That was offensive rebound. 3 of 5 from three, but 3 of 5 from the field. So just compare from the last season when AJ Green played in the playoffs compared to now, he's a little bit better. So teams going like players going to get better over time. But like I said, they really just need to keep that bench going with Bobby Porter's keep Jericho Sims if they want to keep Pat Connaughton because he does got a player option too. So see how that goes. Just there for like helping out with the bench and stuff. Get rally the bench. Um, Kevin Porter Jr. They need to keep him. Like I said, he's got a team option. AJ Green, I know he got like a few years left, so not worry about that. But Brooke Lopez, free agent. Yeah, let him go. That's just my opinion. Just let him go. Um, Anyway, final score 129-103. Pacers up 3 games to 1. So tomorrow's game will be a win or go home for the Bucks. So if they can somehow, end up beating the Pacers, maybe they'll make the season like make the series more interesting. Hey, maybe they'll win like 3 straight. You never know. That's just me hoping, but hey, crazier things that happen. So I can't like just fully, shut it out like everybody else. You got some people say, "Oh, the season's over. What a bunch of worthless team, or da 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 da," and stuff like that. Which, because I know they putting like most of the blame, on Doc, and you got some YouTubers blowing the blame on Jimmy Haslam, which he is a minority order, but so is West M's. Was it Jamie Dolan, and it was somebody else too that's also a majority owner. So you can't just blame just one owner. We have more owners that owns the Bucks, so you can't just blame it on one owner. But that's just how I feel. You just can't blame like one person. You gotta blame like other people that's part of that. Now like the John Horse, and of course y'all know that he did sign. It seemed like it's gonna be a 2 more years, 2 year extension that he signed with the Bucks this past week. So yeah, apparently we're gonna be stuck with him. But like I said, we did like the move that he made in the trade deadline. But there's other moves that he did not do right. Like get rid of a whole bunch of draft picks for Jay Crowder, or there was a few more things that kind of you got to kind of question, but just not pretty sure. So anyway, so we'll see what happens on tomorrow, and I may go live. So it all depends. Like anything was going on, I may go live on Twitch and YouTube for watching Game 5 in case it is it for the Bucks and then it's like over for them. So I might end up putting like doing YouTube and Twitch for showing Game 5. So it's one of those things you see. But Bucks still overcome them in the season, but I guess the playoffs is just a different matter. It's just like everybody depends on threes, so just crazy. But we'll see how it goes. So we are now know the winner of this game will going to end up facing Cleveland since they sweep the Heat today by 50 points. So yeah, that's huge. And of course, they talking about the Dame situation, and yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be like a curse or a blessing because you don't got a guy that's playing hero ball as well and just jack up anything or trying to like get a foul, which they never get called on. So I don't know if that's like a gift or a curse, but I guess it's one of those wait and see. Okay, now to last night's TNA Rebellion. Like I said, I did see majority of the pay per view. So like I said, although I did give my predictions, although it was like a quick one, and I think most of my predictions were wrong. So I'm glad to have that predictions being wrong. So I'm happy with that. I didn't see the countdown match with the 6 women tag with Fatal Influence against Zaya Brookside, the Ying Wing, and Rosemary. So I don't know what's going on that. So I'm probably going to end up being but I did pick Zaya Lee and Rosemary to win. So let's see. No, actually, okay. Fatal Influence won. Pretty interesting. Okay. That is very interesting. So team on the rise. So that's interesting. So yeah, can't complain about much. So yeah, I was wrong on that one. Oh, apparently Dango could not make it to the the 6 man match that they had on the main card. So Moose is gonna take his place and be part of the 6 man, but he does got a match too. So before that, the Elijah Open Challenge. I was thinking it's gonna be somewhat new, but not from TMDK Shane Haas. He answers the challenge, and Elias did win that match because I did watch. That's when I start watching Rebellion. So decent match, and I kind of figured that Elias was going to win. So good for him. So it was like pretty good match. I'm sorry. Okay, we don't need to talk about that. So now we start with the main card. The Ultimate X, it was pretty wild. Got Moose defending against Matt Cardona, Leon Slater, Vico Del Pinco, Casey Navarro, and Sidi Akim, which is his TNA pay-per-view debut, actually. Well, good, but I don't know, are they going to keep like Matt Cardona around, which I think they should, but that's just me. So good match. Moose did end up winning, so I did miss the closing moments of that, but I kind of figured Moose did retain, so not surprised. But I know I was wrong on that one too, but I think I said Moose wasn't going to retain. Oh yeah, I think I did. I said he's going to retain, but I thought the system was going to lose in their match, so we'll get to that in a minute. So after that, then you got the Knockouts World Tag Team Championship match. This is probably one of the few matches I ended up getting right. Has by Elegance defending against NXT Last Legend and Jakura Jackson, the Metaphor, Spitfire, and Gigi Dolan and Taylor Paxton. And I think majority of the guys probably liked their outfits, so I know they did. Just have someone to look at them. And yeah, and I just can't wait till some of the women in NXT, get called up to the main rosters. No, especially Last Legend. Tall girl, full strength, and can give any of these females a problem. So that would be interesting. But yeah, but Hash and Heather by Elegance. I don't know if Maggie Lee did interfere, but she was on ringside, so that I'm not sure. But Ash and Heather by Elegance did retain the tag titles. It's kind of what I predicted, so not surprised. Um, let's see. And this is something new that TNA start doing ever since Unbreakable. I don't think they did it in the March pay-per-view, but I think they did it on the Unbreakable special event. Of course, Joe Heyman was clear to wrestle with his shoulder. Zachary Wentz was clear to wrestle, but Sam Callahan and Vince Warner were out. He's from that brutal match they had last week. So yeah. Anyways, okay. Now the system. The system was in, and they went against Ace Austin and the Rascal, but Sean Waltman, aka X Pac, was there. Oh, okay. So they did sign. Okay, Packers signed the linebacker from the Giants. Okay. Safety Talon Brown dies at 84. Played 5 seasons with the Packers and won 2 Super Bowls. Probably was Super Bowl 1 and 2. That's probably all I can think of. They probably won like Super Bowl 1 and 2. Yeah, but everybody had fun at the NFL draft. So I guess what's next for that? Who who's gonna host it next year? So I don't know if they officially announced it early or whatever the case may be, but I don't know. But it was a good thing for Green Bay. Hopefully, it's probably gonna take like a long time for them to host it again, but can't wait for that. Anyways, yeah, Ace Austin and the Rascals did end up winning that match. Yeah, Ace Austin and the Rascals did win that match. With Paul Waltman, aka X Pac, in their corner. So Moose, won his match. So the system, they had to lose there. So it kind of makes sense. But yeah, system still ain't gonna go nowhere. They still gonna cause havoc. What is it? The international? Yeah, the international championship match. Steve Macklin defending against Eric Young, his first title defense. And I guess Eric Young made a point, like join us or whatever. Well, you know what they mean by that. But anyways, this was a good match. For very good, interesting match, and loved it. But yeah, towards the end, Steve Macklin did beat Eric Young, and but afterwards, the Northern Army did choke like Steve Macklin out. So this feud is now ain't gonna be far from over. So you kind of understand why with last week's special event, either Steve Macklin or Eric Young does have to win just to have that feud start going. So kind of like pieces together. So and plus, like I said, this feud is gonna be far from over. So yeah. Um okay, that's probably just a little video that they talk about. Falls Count Anywhere, which in my opinion was the match of the night. So I think yeah, I don't know. I think I said Mike Santana should win this match, but then again, I don't know. Like Mustafa Ali did not win, so I'm not sure. But anyways, y'all get an opportunity. Check the preview is like a short video, so you get a chance. Check that out and see if my opinion was either right or wrong. Because right now I don't even remember who I choose, but I thought it would be Mike Santana. So could be wrong. Um, like I said, match of the night, one of the best matches out of the card. And underrated match. So let's just put it that way. You had your missing, you had your pieces all involved. With Mustafa Ali, have his men, trying to help him out and stuff like that. But then again, it's a false count anywhere. But with Mike Santana, outsmarting the good hands and put Tasha Steele through a table, which was wow. That was a good take, and I do had to clap a little bit for Tasha Steele for taking that table bump. It looked a little brutal, but it looked like it was that good. It was, to my opinion. Of course, Santana, smart outsmarted the good hands, handcuffing them to the ropes. And end up being Mustafa Ali. Did this and spin the block for the win. So that's cool. Um, like I said, match of the night. And some good news too with TNA. And I am very glad that that TNA did this move. You already know about Indy Hartwell's situation that she was let go of the company by company. Well, TKO think they WWE needs to cut back. So yeah, they doing that. That fits me in crap again. So I thought that would have like ended with TKO, but it's horrible. But I'm glad she's now with TNA, and maybe this will be developed more for her career. Hopefully she be a knocks out champion. Like she were NXT champion. I think she was an NXT tag champion too. For the women's before the belts, the NXT women's tag and WWE women's tag got combined. Well, unification, I should say. Which should have never happened. They should have kept the NXT women's tag titles down there. Some things you just can't explain, but yeah. But like, congrats to her, and looking forward, seeing her in the matches in TNA in the future. Um, of course, she was there, watched the Knockouts Championship match, which I was wrong about this match too. I thought they was gonna actually like give it to Tessa Blanchard, but they didn't. And this was a brutal match too. Like Tessa Blanchard, was attacking Masha on her made her like injure her knee, so she went on assault on that, and there are some good spots on this one too. And yeah, and shockingly, Masha made Tessa Blanchard tapped out. So which you see her like her finishing move, the snowplow, but you didn't think she was gonna do like a submission, like an armbar submission. So something new in her arsenal, and continue develop her character, and good match. So I guess either way, if it's right or wrong or whoever won, I would have been happy either way because the match did turn out pretty good. Um, oh yeah, yeah, this one I was wrong about too. The TNA World Tag Team Championship. You got the Hardys defending against Nick and Ryan Nemeth, and y'all probably saw this past Thursday what happened Hardy's compound. Um, it seemed like it was mostly a one-on-two. Like Matt was taking on Nick and Ryan, then Jeff Hardy ended up showing out of the blue, and it was too little, too late. But although all the craziness that was going on with this match, and it did get, in my opinion, did get a little bit confusion, I should say. But yeah, the Nemec did prevail and actually won the TNA Tag Champs. So first time for both Nick and Ryan together as a tag team, as winning, the tag champs. So that's huge for them. Nick Nemec having been there for like a little bit over a year, already won the TNA World Title and now tag title. I guess the only thing for him left is like winning the X Division title. But I think this is the first title that Ryan Nemeth has had ever, I believe, unless he won some titles in the independents. But you know, just from what I witnessed. Um, okay, so that's that match, and of course, excuse me, the main event, which I was wrong about as well. Which I'm I'm glad to be wrong, so I'm happy with it either way. I don't know if like Kanzaria cashes his Call Your Shot trophy. So I don't know if he actually cashed that in. So I guess that's one of the things you probably gotta wait and see. So I thought Kazarian was gonna win this match, but he didn't, and Joe Hendry ended up retaining. So pretty good triple threat match. Of course, Joe Hendry did retain. So I'm kind of glad he didn't have like a short run or anything like that. Just have his run like coming in a little bit longer. So maybe he'll hold it up to Bound for Glory. You never know. But that'd be interesting if if he does. Okay, so after the match, which I was shocked at first that this happened, but I understand it if you pay attention to this past Tuesday's NXT. Trick Williams ended up attacking Joe Hendry and lay him out, then did the trick shot on him. So seems like Trick Williams will probably be next in line for the TNA championship. So so this feud is gonna be interesting. They probably gonna build it up, for the next couple of weeks to NXT and TNA wrestling. Because I think TNA got Against All Odds, I believe, this coming month. And of course, when NXT, they got Battleground at the end of this month. So a lot of things that's gonna be going on this month with this these two. So very interesting. Oh god, excuse me. But anyways, I will grade it and rate it. Okay, so I'm gonna grade it. Let's see. Like I said, I liked it. They had the two pre-show matches, so that's pretty good. And then you had like the main card and all that stuff. I think it was like about 7 to 8 matches in the main card. So if you want to add the two pre-show matches, that would be 10 total. And I don't know why it seems like WWE can't do those amount of matches in like a 3 hour period, and they always trying to like cut it down and don't have no pre-show match at all, except for if you're watching an NXT, there's a pre-show match. But anything else is just like I don't know. That's why I can't understand WWE at times when it comes to the main card. Like have like a pre-show match, so you want have nobody just coming in, just sitting there and just be like, oh, I'm bored. When are you gonna start? But that's like when it comes to their excuse me. But that's when it comes to their PLEs that they really just need to do something like a pre-show match. So yeah. All right. Okay, I was just gonna rate it and grade it. So I'm gonna grade it. I'm gonna give it an A minus. Like I said, I only seen like majority of the show, and there were a few things that I did miss. But yeah, I would give it an A minus. And as for the rating it from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, one being the lowest, this actually is gonna like I grade Unbreakable. I think I grade that one a 9.5, but I'm gonna grade this one a 9. So it's good, a little bit surprising and stuff like that. But yeah, I would give it a 9 and grade it like an A minus. So very good, very good pay per view, and just wait for that next one. And I believe it's Against All Odds, but let me double look before we move on. Um, of course they got a few shows this week to bet up on. So okay, move that back and there we go. Oh, it's Under Siege. Okay, so oh wow, this is interesting. So Under Siege is gonna be May 23rd, and around that period of time they're gonna have Saturday night's main event on the 24th. Then Sunday the 25th they're gonna have the NXT Battleground, which they probably would add some TNA stars on that one, and so yeah, it's like they probably gonna have to end up making the travel. Some NXT stars is gonna be on Under Siege. So yeah, interesting. So I was thinking it was Against All Odds, but I think their Against All Odds would be like in September. So maybe look. Okay, there's Under Siege in May. Then what do they have? Oh, okay, Against All Odds is in June, June 6th. Okay. Then Slammiversary in July, and I forgot what their August is. Normally it'd be like either Hard Justice or it's gonna be something else. But not sure, but it's like one of those, wait and see. But the June 7th of the Dink Show Oz should be interesting, so we'll see. But let's move on to that and see if there's any wrestling news to talk about. So which is probably ain't gonna be much, but and I know the match to talk about that was match of the night for that point was on SmackDown was the TLC Triple Threat match. So I know people like saying, Montez Ford can be this big star, and I do agree that he can. But I guess like the problem is like I guess from like what they saying behind the scenes, but I could be wrong on this one too. So you can take this as a grain of salt. That Montez Ford didn't want to separate from D'Angelo Dawkins and still want to be a tag team. So my opinion, this is how some things can work. Like with the New Day, they still got all three of them, and you saw like two of them, Biggie and Kofi Kingston, had the WWE title. So you don't have to, split up your tag team, anything like that, for one of them to be successful. Which it seems like that's what with some of these storylines, teams break up and either they fight against each other and stuff like that. Kind of like what they did in Crime Time, which was the biggest mistake they ever made. Crime Time, they should have stayed in, but then again, it's just crazy. But yeah, that team should have stayed on there. But then again, at the Vince McMahon, he sees like something in somebody, but don't even utilize the person that they gonna use. So that's Vince McMahon, and okay, we glad he's not running anymore. And anyways, babe, you got time? Probably not. So we're probably just gonna do a separate video about the thing with like the Milwaukee and supposed to be getting money in the bank. So as y'all saw, it went to LA, and we will also do to get Survivor Series as well if we don't get money in the bank. But that didn't happen either because San Diego made a fit and put more money towards it, and that was it. So for them to hold in dates like this long and stuff, it was like normally we get like WWE here twice a year. So I don't know how all of this gonna work out because we got they still didn't mention anything about something coming here in Milwaukee, and you got you know probably a Raw SmackDown probably sometime in late fall or early winter compared to right now. It looks like there's nothing in the summer that we're not going to we probably going to end up getting at one time, which I can understand they want to cut down on tours and stuff like that. But Milwaukee has been selling out for like SmackDown for the past few years, and it's like we deserve a PLE. It's just ridiculous, with the backstage drama, especially if you want to blame somebody for that, you blame TKO because you thought Vince McMahon was like all about no money, but seems like TKO is like much worse. So it's like one of the things just unbelievable and just like it's like one of those things you don't even know what to say after this. But but yeah, I guess some good AEW news that earlier next year here in Milwaukee they're gonna do a special event. It could be a pay per view, but most likely it probably will end up being a special event. Maybe like what they did this past February, maybe like Grand Slam or something like that. They could have that, or the Winter is Coming episode of Dynamite. So either way, it's going to be like a special your special episode, special event, or it's going to be a pay per view because they did scream out at the crowd when they was here in Milwaukee a month ago that they were shouting out pay per view. So they were saying they would consider it, and maybe that was the news I heard. So possibly AEW special event be coming next year. So it's just like one of those wait and see. Um, let's see. Yeah, we know Andy Harwell did sign with TNA, and it seems like they're gonna end up extending opportunities on TV for Karrion Cross because his character, like being the instigator, is very good. So would I like to see him in like some matches? Yes, but they need to put him in like some matches too. But that's just me. Let's see. Natalia, of course, she's gonna be and compete for the NWA championship. You see, like WWE is having like certain like relationship with certain brands, like they do with GCW, who's an independent scene, NWA, like another one. So they allow Natalia just to be part of that that women's tournament, which is huge. And plus the stuff WWE is working with with Japan, they're acquiring AAA, so we don't know the full standard of that and how that's going to be presented. Also, they're working with I think it's Pro Wrestling Noah. So there's a lot of companies that they were working with, which they did it in the past, but I guess with like the Attitude Era and all Vince McMahon's greed, like you just got to work with me and me only. So yeah, it's just insane. And yeah, Hulk and Bischoff are having like collaboration stuff. They kind of like cheese something, so we'll see how it is. Some matches were added to the card for Backlash. You got the Women's Intercontinental Championship being defended. Lyra Valkyria going against Becky Lynch. Um, you have Pat McAfee returning to the ring in a long time, going against Gunter. So that was called. And besides, you got the Cena and Orton match for the WWE Championship. Yeah, we probably just gonna talk about that later because it seems like she's tired. So we'll just do that like in a different video. Um, let's see. Okay, Bandino doing this thing. Well, yeah, like I said, it's like it really ain't much to like talk about. And oh yeah, it was some other good news for some people this past Friday. Chelsea Green is no longer the women's United States champion. New champion, Selena Vega has won it, and for her and some of these other women that hadn't won a title yet, it's about damn time. Just put it that way. So let's just see how long her run is going to be, and see from there. But yeah, Brody Lee Jr. Did wrestle in his debut in WrestleMania weekend with GCW. So if y'all didn't know, his son has been training with certain wrestlers from AEW and WWE for like few years now. So it's like one of those things. Like I didn't see it, so it'll be interesting to see what happens and go from there. Um, I know I need to catch up on AEW because I have not watched any of their shows either this past Wednesday or this past Saturday. Collision. It was the special that they had for Collision, which I did not see. But yeah, not much news to talk about for wrestling, so we can move on and talk about just a few things around here that's going on in the city. So this place is now okay. It's now called Tonya's Homestyle Kitchen, which was once like a fish place. So yeah, and I think I believe they probably just opened that too. So y'all not familiar with it? It was on West Capitol Drive. Okay. Oh, that's their menu. Oh, okay. It looked like some good food, like good fish and look like could be like little nuggets, cakes and stuff. Okay. And I guess that's not how it looks. So yeah, because normally this was like a fish place, but I think the fish place didn't do too well. So it's like most likely they just I was just say they just kind of cut it. So 3326 was Capitol Drive. They're open from Tuesday to Thursday. Wait a minute. Oh, Tuesday to Thursday they open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Tuesday to Thursday, but all other hours just 11 to 8. Okay, so yeah, explains it. Okay. Oh wait, so this was already open the end of last year, which I did not know. But I guess they were just like just promoting it more. So no, which is cool. Probably something to check out. So we'll see. Another thing that's in Milwaukee. That Milwaukee we have the Harley Davidson. You know, the created of Harley Davidson and the museum and motorcycles and stuff like that. If y'all didn't know, the Captain America vs. Avenger show like one of the motorcycles that Harley Davidson made for the movie. and that is on display on the museum, which is very cool. You can learn some history stuff, about Harley Davidson and motorcycles they made, past, present, and future as well. So that's pretty good. So I guess they saying that Harley Davidson right now they're on hard times, but one of the things that they mentioned that maybe Harley Davidson should focus more of Milwaukee than worry about everywhere else. So let's see. Of course, they got their dealership on the north side. They ain't got one in West Allis. And besides, the main company that's it's really not that far from here. I think it's like a mile or two from here. So yeah, really not that far. But yeah, I guess they saying they should focus more. That was saying they need more to put the company on the new path, and also just saying they need to focus like on Milwaukee as well, which I think that is a good idea too. So you have something that's like based in Milwaukee, maybe you can focus on some stuff in Milwaukee, like let people know like what you are, not just here, but like everywhere. But I do like the idea that they're saying they should focus on Milwaukee too, like maybe build some more stuff or maybe make another headquarters. But like I was saying earlier, like they are on like hard times right now, and hopefully they okay, yeah, 3700 West Juneau Avenue. Like I said, it's like 2 miles from here, from where I'm at. But yeah, and like the CEO appears to be attempting to oversee the company for locations in Santa Fe, New Mexico, London, UK, and rural Kenya. Well, I can understand, they had some place in there. It's kind of the same thing with Miller. They combined, the partnership with God, what's that? Coolers Light. Well, they call it small size coolers. They call it. Sad thing is, their offices is in Chicago, but their main headquarters and stuff is in Denver and also here in Milwaukee. So, let's see. Okay, the old CEO resigned when the continued decline in Harley stock prices and sales provided too much for him to continue running the company. Okay. Well, yeah, maybe they needed. Like this. Okay. He stepped into an interim CEO soon was named to the permanent position. Okay. Oh wow, he had a big salary. Okay. Um. Well, like I said, maybe maybe they focus on making like motorcycles of the future. Maybe they can do something like that and be back on there. But then again, with prices like going up and stuff like that. But prices going up and stuff happens every time, so it doesn't make a difference. Like what companies do, either they increase it more or they gotta accept that they have to increase it. So as long as people gonna want their raise pay, and also they want you know better position and stuff like that, you always gonna have people, prices gonna go up regardless of what it is, past, present, future is all gonna be the same. But sorry to say, but our current president is kind of making it worse. It would have been bad, over the coming years, but yeah, he's really making it worse, and that's just sad. So oh, okay, he divided his former CEO divided his time between Milwaukee, traveling for the company, and his ranch in New Mexico, and okay, get that and get back over here. I want the wind to come in. Yeah, because I'm sweating my butt off. Um, but yeah, okay. He launched a 5-year plan named Hardwire, which doubled down on the company's core products, touring bikes, large cruisers, and trikes. He pulled the company out of the weak market slash no profit bike models and car dealership. He made changes in his senior leadership and focused on rebuilding the brand, which is fine. And they said the plan did. Critics said the plan did not go well, which was in the decline of 20% since the old CEO had became CEO. So, but yeah, maybe they can focus on motorcycles of the future. Also, no, because I'm glad they normally like every 5 years, Harley Davidson had their anniversary down here in Milwaukee, and people come to visit like in July. But starting yeah, they actually started doing they started doing annual like yearly starting last year, which and people from out of town really did ask for it, and like if it was like a yearly thing, we would come every year. So they listened and they finally doing it. They had their they had, I think it was like 125th anniversary, I believe. No, I think it was 120th they had in 23. Then starting last year they started having it every year, and they're gonna have it this year and the year after that. So well, with that situation, it was better late than never. So can't complain. But it brings people down here. So okay, who's this should they look for in the CEO? Let's see. Okay, okay. There seems to be a genuine lack of partnership and respect towards the dealerships, which is true, that invest their own money in the facilities and promotional activities. Which there are certain places they do host like Harley parties and stuff like that, and it's like one of those things. And plus, they have the museum with their stores and stuff like that. So and their own restaurants, so they do got that going for them. Like I said, the museum is amazing. So if y'all get a chance, y'all get down here and y'all come here for the Harley anniversary in July. Check it out. The museum is like really worth looking at. Although I've been there like twice already. Let's see. The next CEO must find a way for the company to survive in Europe. So okay, they got like a lot of ideas. Let's see. We had a great experience dealer network in the United States, and our customers really love stopping in at our dealerships when they're out on the road. Why would you want to compete with that and impact the resources they need to deliver a great experience? Yeah, true. Um, Harley dealers here face a huge challenge of Trump's tariff war, which I said the president is making it worse. Um, they have been stocking up on motorcycles, getting as many over from the U.S. as possible, but eventually the bikes will become more expensive and harder to sell. Okay, okay. The Larissa from the Harley Davidson in Germany. Yeah. Well, like I said, the yearly, the every 5 year thing that they have. So, you know, um, hopefully, they, push the company more. Like I said, help some of these dealerships, and also, maybe expand a little bit more with the dealerships in the United States. So, because the thing is, you got all these car lots and stuff, like selling like some of these same brand cars. This is like 4 locations for them, Well, only Harley Davidson, you only have two. So yeah, it's just something that they just really need to pick up on. That's just my opinion. Hopefully, like I said, the next CEO will do a little bit better. And before we go, of course, what's coming out this Friday, as they talk about it on TV now, is the Marvel Studios Thunderbolts. So y'all knew if y'all follow some of the movies and shows from Marvel, you got to watch Black Widow to understand part of it. Ant Man and the Wasp, of course, you got to understand that. Um, Also, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you got to watch that too. And yeah, I think 'cause, yeah, you got a lot of these characters that's on there that's in this movie, and you got some new development characters that's gonna be in this movie too, like Sentry. So I read a little bit, about Sentry like a while back. He's supposed to be like their Superman of Marvel. Like DC, they have Superman, and Sentry is supposed to be that. But it seems like from what they doing, it's gonna be done a little bit different. So let's see. It's just one of those, wait and see. So can't wait to see it. We're gonna try to go see it Thursday, because they show their preview movies on Thursday, and then really premiere on Friday. So try to see it Thursday, and if it's good, probably see it again on the $5 or Tuesdays or wherever they call it now, Value Tuesday. So I didn't get to do it with Captain America. Only saw it once, and normally if I like the Marvel movies or DC movies, I'll go see it twice or maybe even more. It all depends. So I didn't get to do that with Captain America and the Brave New World, and I kind of feel bad about that too. Just one of those things you just miss. But I guess I'm gonna look on Facebook and see if there's any updates. Let's go with MRVEL. We'll go with Marvel updates. Then we're gonna look at DC updates, because I know we haven't talked about much Marvel or DC in a while. Because I've been watching like everybody else's program, and most of the things I agree with, and some of the things I do not. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so let's see. There's a few things to talk about. It ends with us was the sixth most profitable film of 2024. Film had made a net profit of 207 million for the studio. So although the director and he was also the star of that movie had problems with Brian Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively, which is on that movie as well. So he's suing them for no character. Um, I forgot what they call it, but like bad character. Because I guess the guy directed claimed that they use a nice Deadpool representing that's him on Deadpool Wolverine, which I don't give 2 cents about that, and the drama is kind of stupid on both sides, and they just really just need to move on. Let's see. Okay, the current draft of the X-Men reboot film reported features Mr. Sinister as the villain. So I don't think Magneto would be the main villain, but I think if they played, that whole X-Men, like if they do like a trilogy X-Men, something like that, why not have Mr. Sinister for like a villain? So, because with the X-Men franchises, like they did not use, Mr. Sinister at all. It was mainly, Magneto was the main villain, or they'll team up and end up being a villain, or Charles and Magneto, you know, be on the same side with the, Days of Future Past, with them going against the Sentinels, which was pretty cool that they did use the Sentinels in this, because we was thinking like, are they going to use that anytime soon? And although they did it, at the beginning of the X-Men animated series in the '90s, they did it with that. But I know they did like an anime series with X-Men in the late '80s. Only saw like once a bit, and it only had like one full season. With the X-Men animated series, it has like I think it's like four. I think it's like 4 seasons. Then you got X-Men '97, which the second season is gonna be out March of next year. Because like all they doing now, is like adjusting and stuff like that, and they already working on season 3 of X-Men '97. So it may end up being a different name. So maybe X-Men '98 or something like that. So it could be something different. We'll see. Doomsday and Solo season 2 both start filming in today in the UK. Okay. So I thought they was already. I guess they was just like building sets and stuff all this month. So David Harbour said he talked to Marvel Studios about possibly Rachel Wells returning as Melinda Baltimore, which would make sense. Is like, where is she in all this from seeing her last at Black Widow? The man, I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. Hey, what's going on? Um, but yeah, it'd be good to see, what's up with her, like what she's been, ever since, Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, had died. How would they feel like after that? So it should be interesting. Avengers Doomsday will reportedly feature 3 Hawks. So I guess from the pictures you see here, you got Hulk himself, She-Hulk, and Scar, which was Hulk's son. So kind of weird how they did that in She-Hulk, but like his son just appear out of nowhere. But anyways, okay, that's it for Marvel. Let's look at DC before we end up going. And I know people are, hey, I'm doing good, and yourself? Yeah, and I know some people are really upset, with Batman Part Two, but that's probably not going to be the name of it. I know there's some rumors saying that it could be on the verge of being canceled and not happening, and it's just like a lot of stuff going on. But then again, with the DCU now, their first movie project is Superman, and that's going to be out in July as well, along with the Fantastic Four being out a few weeks later. Um, Never seen there's some things that that's like worth talking about, because I know that's all they're talking about right now is Superman. Just seeing that and there's some people they don't trust James Gunn's vision, things like that, and especially they was upset how the Suicide Squad came in, but that's not the company's fault. That's not James Gunn's fault or anything like that. I see him enjoying the Suicide Squad. Um, Although it didn't make enough because it wasn't out in theaters that much. At that time during the pandemic, all most of the good Warner Brothers movies was going straight to HBO Max. It come out the day it was supposed to be released in theaters, so nothing wrong with that. And I thought at the time it was good, had their movies like go straight to their streaming and have people watching it. But I believe like Wonder Woman, although it didn't do that good in theaters, but at the same time, that was one of the movies they started premiere. They was going to do the whole year like putting movies on streaming, and Wonder Woman was like the first movie they started doing that with. although it looked good on streaming, but movie wise, like theater wise, it really did. Because there were some places that still like putting people like in theaters, but it wasn't like that around here in Milwaukee. You really just had to like actually watch streaming for movies until I think it was like late 2021, early 2022. They start having people go back to theaters, but that year, although it sucks that the pandemic happened, but it was enjoyable. I had HBO Max, but now called Max at the time. So yeah, it was really enjoyable. So, oh, that sucks. They're removing that. Ryan Reynolds. Oh yeah, he said that his son really likes the Green Lantern. But in my opinion, I don't think the Green Lantern was like the worst movie or anything like that. But maybe they could have added some things about it. But I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad or anything like that. But that's just me. But people gonna have their own opinions about it. So what more can you say? Um, of course, July 11th, Superman. Okay, they didn't have much about the Batman situation. Batman Part Two. They're calling it, but that's okay. Mini collectibles figures from Superman. Okay. Okay, new look. Okay, that's an exclusive look, and I saw this morning, and a lot of people trashed it. They're saying this scene, it looks like it was real fake. You can tell it's fake and stuff like that. It's just like the project is not really completely like finished, with the editing and stuff and all the stuff they got to do. So this is like I don't pay attention to people like saying that it's like the worst whatever. And some people that rate it like like I rate like wrestling pay per views and stuff like that rated and graded. So half of the time some of the ratings don't matter. It's like go see it for yourself and you be the judge. Like half of these well, some of these YouTubers will do that as well. They some of them were rated and stuff like that. And also, you got film critics that rated and stuff like, oh yeah, it's really the worst movie you ever watched. Like, go see it for yourself. It was like with Joker 2. So a lot of people saying that was the worst movie that DC had ever done. My opinion, I was 50-50 when I seen the movie. 50-50. I still got it for on digital, which I will watch every now and then because it has its good moments. But I'm not saying it was the worst movie that DC ever done. It's not. Um, but could have done better with that? Yes, because the first Joker, it did made them money, and a lot of people liked it. The first Joker movie, but I think the problem was, when they let the director, producers, and stuff like that just have like free range and do whatever you want, kind of ruined it. Especially, this is a spoiler alert for people that didn't see it, but the Joker, I forgot what they call him on there. I forgot what the name they call him on there. He was in jail and suddenly like somebody from the prison like, okay, you faked the whole thing that you were for the people and you don't care. So he ended up getting stabbed, and we don't know at the end if he survived that stabbing or not, because people may stop moving and stuff like that. Maybe they can hurry up and save him and stuff like that. So things like that can happen. So right now we're all puzzled. Like we're not going to get the third Joker. So we all gonna be puzzled for like the rest of our life and being like, did he survive or did he really die? So it's gonna be that creative wonder. So I think that's the thing that's gonna like suck the most if he's gonna make it or he's gonna die. So yeah, I know the writer, producers, and all that stuff. They didn't really want to do a second one, but the studio was pushing for it. So they ended up just doing their own thing, and just made it like crazy. Like I was glad they've had Harley Quinn on there, but it was just it's just some of the stuff that just didn't make no sense. Oh, suddenly she's pregnant, then he looks for her, and she don't want to like be around him because she think he's a fake now. So oh, excuse me. So yeah, it's I'm sorry, it's just all insane. But yeah, I thought they would have like more updates, but I guess I can mention this. They saying the Batman Part Two is gonna be very close to being canceled because the situation with Matt Reeves, the producer and the writer and all that stuff for the Batman, especially how success the Penguin TV series was last year. Colin Farrell, winning an Oscar for his performance as the Penguin. So it's like, although we wanted continue on, maybe make more spinoffs or keep on doing like the Batman and stuff like that. But if a person's health is on the line, like what more can you do? You gotta wait for the person be healthy and back to normal first before they continue on. So I know they saying it is supposed to start shooting at the end of this year, and Robert Pattinson, who played Bruce Wayne, Batman, wanted it to happen too. He don't want to be freaking older. What I mean, when they start showing the Batman too. So because it's gonna come out. No, it's supposed to be out and it's supposed to be out next year, but it's not gonna be out until 2027. So yeah, it's gonna be like that long of a wait. But in the meantime, maybe when it gets better, they can put like another TV series before maybe they'll feature Robert Pattinson as Batman on part of it. It ain't gotta be like all of it, but just some of the series. But that's just me. But then again, you got that with the Sony universe, put it out there and have all these villains that are now like anti-heroes, which ain't nothing wrong with that, but it's just some things that you just really need to figure out what you want to do and what the I'm not saying like do what all the fans like, but make it like interesting. Because they thought like because I y'all did see my review on Craven the Hunter. I gave it like a real bad review. But finally, watching it again when it like was on digital, I finally got to rewatch it fully and didn't fall asleep in it. It was actually not that bad. Because if you from the Sony universe, the worst Marvel movie that they have done. Ooh, that's a hard one. Because I did like Madam Web, but I think if I had to choose between that, the three Venom movies, which they were very good. Like I like all three of the Venom movies, and Morbius they had out as well. So awesome movie as well. Don't if I had to choose between those six movies, to saying which one is the worst, it would have to be Madam Web because I know people like get upset with no the mention of Spider Peter Parker, but he wasn't mentioned, but he was like kind of feature on there because Sony screws up and try to rush into something which they don't have like a clue what they gonna do. So I'm just glad Marvel Studios paired up with Sony like to do like the Spider-Man movies. Then Sony decided, okay, we're gonna do our own Spider Verse. Which the only successful thing you had was the Venom franchise, and the rest of them movies. Although like I like all three, but they just didn't receive well with other viewers. Like they lost money. So it's just like Sony, grow up, just work with Marvel Studios, and they can come up, some characters that are good. But I'll be disappointed when they have release Spider-Man Noir on Amazon Prime next year, and it end up being crappy. Then yeah, I'm really gonna be upset with Sony and be like, yeah, just give your rights to Marvel Studios or the Spider-Man franchise. Like I know like the animation or TV series like Marvel Studios does own, but when it comes to movie wise, Sony can do what they want, and that's probably only their like money making thing. That's why they still holding on to the Spider-Man franchise because it's like more money for them. Yeah, the first three Spider-Mans that they did, then you got the Amazing Spider-Man, the two videos, then couldn't do the third one because of conflicts with with Sony and some of the actors, which sucks that it didn't like work out because you had the lead actor that don't even trust the company. It could have been Spider-Man 4, but they decided cancel that. Well, I said Sony just on some other level of stupid. But like the past three Spider-Man, Homecoming, No Way Home, and what else? Spider-Man Homecoming. I can't believe I forgot the second one. That sucks. Now I gotta end up looking that up, and probably gonna end up be like doing another video. Be like, aha, that's what it is. Um, oh, Far Away from Home. Okay, Homecoming, Far Away from Home, and No Way Home. So that was probably like, in my opinion, like the best trilogy of Spider-Man that Sony had ever done. Of course, they had Marvel Studios to think with that because they was working with them on the side, and plus, they featured some of the Marvel characters on there that they couldn't do much with the last five Spider-Mans. With yeah, it was one point they were saying the Spider-Man from the first three that was done in 2000s, will feature like some X-Men characters and stuff like that, and it didn't happen because I think it was Sony and Fox just couldn't come with an agreement. I don't know, a lot of things we could have thanks to some of Sony's messed up, and although Fox did good with the X-Men universe stuff like that, they did some screw ups too, so they got some to blame as well. It's just really awful, really awful. Like, what more can you do from that? Although Superman's gonna have like a bunch of guest characters and stuff like that, which is always good. Because I know when you started like with Iron Man and with the MCU, you only had like only Iron Man, War Machine, few of the like other characters, but not like some big guest characters. So none of the Iron Mans didn't even feature that. And I think, of course, Captain America did feature that in the third one, Civil War. Of course, one that was the best, Captain America out there. But I still like Brave New World, but the third Captain America probably was the best one out of the four. And Brave New World would have been coming in second, in my opinion. But you see, the movies, Thor movies, really didn't have that big of a guest on there. Um, Except for the fourth one, featured the Guardians of the Galaxy. So out of them four, in my opinion, I'm sorry, but I know some people hate Love and Thunder, but in my opinion, that was the best Marvel movie that they ever did out of the four things franchise. So yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, four of them. That fourth one is the best. Let's see. You had Ant Man and the Wasp. That really didn't feature that many. Oh yeah, the first one did. It had Falcon, which is now Captain America. Had him on the first one. Second one, I think it really wasn't really like I guess, but it was the creation of Ghost, which is she's on Thunderbolts. I'm trying to think who else. Oh yeah, Ant Man 3. It really didn't feature that many outside characters, but it did feature Kane the Conqueror. That's supposed to be the main villain of the whole multiverse, but with with the the actor issues and stuff like that, didn't happen. So been replaced by Doctor Doom, but it was going to be one point that Doctor Doom and Kane was going to be met if they're going to do it the way of the comics. But yeah, yeah, that plan didn't fail. But they had to do something to have like Kane involvement, even if he's on there for like a short time. Like have Doctor Doom make easy work out of him, or they team up for a bit, then end up destroying Kane. I don't know. It's just me, or they can have the story, Loki, like part of the Avengers Doomsday, that Loki got rid of all the Kangs. They could do something like that. But yeah, they have to mention Kane regardless of what happened with the actor. And I know some people is like, have the actor Jonathan Majors like just do his bit with Kane and kill him off. Just do like have him like killed off on Doomsday. Which I agree with. I just have them have like one movie on there, then end it from there. I don't know, but they like Hollywood always trying to blackball people, and it just doesn't make any sense. And of course, I know it's not right for what he did. Beat up his former girlfriend and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people that done way worse. Like y'all gave Robert Downey Jr. a chance. He was in jail for years for drugs, and y'all brought him on there and restarted his career again. I don't know. I just think there's some things that they are so unfair of, like the media, studios, and also in life too. I think everybody deserves a second chance, but if they end up blowing that second chance, then yeah, you have the right to don't bring them back. Good luck for them. But there are some people, in my opinion, does deserve a second chance, and at least work with them. Do something about it. Like have them, prove themselves. I don't know. It's just Hollywood, and also in life, and also like in the wrestling business and stuff like that, including sports. There's people out there that do deserve a second chance. So I'm just saying they just really just gotta look at that. But I think I rambled long enough. According to Twitch, it's been over 2 hours, and for YouTube, is almost 2 hours. So I'm gonna end it from here. And I didn't think I was gonna talk that long, but I guess I did have a lot to say. So yeah, yay me. So like I said, we always try to do these shows like about an hour, but sometimes it goes like overboard, and there's like a lot to talk about. Although sometimes it doesn't look like it, but it's just like you come something in the fly. It's like I'm not gonna be on here to say read from like a script or something. Like I already got the plan in my head, like what I want to talk about, and if there's more to talk about in that same subject, I'm gonna mention it. So you guys that's watching through Twitch, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Share the channel. We try to do live content almost every day. With the four subjects I was just talking about today, with comic books, also wrestling, um, Milwaukee Bucks, and developments that's going on in the city of Milwaukee. Like I said, the development stuff in the city of Milwaukee is going a little bit slow. And I said I was going to put out a video. I'm sorry, guys. And I said I was going to put out a video eventually for like updates of certain things, like the new venue that's going to be next to the Pfizer Forum. I need to do like an update video on that. So hopefully I can work on that sometime soon. Um, I know WFSO Top 10 hasn't been on ever since its season premiere, and I've just been not doing anything about it ever since. So I can tell you next Monday we will like have some videos and stuff like that. So just wait patiently for that. And I know we haven't done after dark. It's mainly because Wednesday. I'm watching the grandson, and we're staying at my son's place until like he comes back. And so it might gonna be like we're not going to do like after dark for a while, so it's probably going to end up being come back like sometime late summer. So watch out for after dark. Um, let's see. I think there's one thing I'm gonna let go before I leave. We are doing a second season of The Forgottens, but this time we're gonna do something a little bit different. So we're not gonna do you know what wrestlers WWE dropped the ball on. We're gonna do wrestlers that TNA dropped the bomb on. So I'm gonna post it on my Arthur Smith page and see what y'all suggestions on the top 10 wrestlers, men or women, doesn't matter, who TNA dropped the ball on. So we want to hear from that. So I'm gonna post that on my on Arthur Smith's page as soon as I'm done here, just to see what people's opinions are. And I'm probably gonna put it in the Wrestling Fan Speak Out group as well. Maybe hear some other people's opinions on that as well. So the 10 wrestlers that get the most votes, we will talk about it and do a video on. So yeah, watch out for that. Um, if y'all probably already saw, July 3rd will be the season premiere of Exclusive. So watch out for that. There's already some episodes that's already to air, and there's gonna be some episodes gonna be filming in the upcoming months. So watch out for that. I guess this probably gonna be end up being the longest series of stuff we did on WFSO that's gonna be like going on. And plus, I got to get back on wrestling talk. I think I got a few interviews I got to do Thursday. Then I'm gonna try to put that out there too. That I'm looking for more people to like do like interviews with. So it may be a couple of weeks delay from after this Thursday, but just stay tuned and hopefully we get that up there. So, anyways, like I said, thank you guys that's watching through Twitch. Please share the channel. Also, we're trying to get more followers, so please, let people know. After you guys that's on YouTube, either live or pre-recorded, thank you for watching. Thanks for the likes today, and please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So it looks like we're kind of like halfway there to like 600 subscribers. So hopefully, we can, get up to 600 subscribers by the end of May. So that's what I'm pushing for. But the main goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So hopefully we can get there. And please subscribe. We got over 2,500 videos and counted of content. Like stuff like talking about wrestling, comic book stuff, developments in Milwaukee, and also I think I mentioned wrestling already, but Milwaukee Bucks. So y'all got an opportunity, check out those videos. There's also videos that's going to be on the website as well, wrestlingfanspeakout.weebly.com. Updated events that's going on in the Midwest, like wrestling events. Videos, like this Bucks, market development, and also wrestler talk. Because, like I said, there was an interview earlier today. The wife had interviewed me, so you get a chance, check that video out as well. You check it through like YouTube, or you also check it out through the Wrestling Talk page that's on the website as well. So, a lot of stuff going on with the website. We're trying to, of course, like trying to do like a merchandise store. Hopefully, we get there by the summer. Hopefully, that will work out. And like I said, a lot of like content that we're gonna have going on, and like the Forgotten will be premiering. The episodes and stuff is gonna be premiering like late fall, early winter. Probably sometime maybe either October or November. So one to two. So we'll see. Or probably next December we'll just premiere, like 2 episodes a week or something like that. So that's just the layout we got right now. So it's not the official details, but the plan is, release it in the fall. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Until the next video, you guys have a good one and see you later. Maybe end this one first. Eh, yeah. But anyways, guys, you have a good one and be safe. A lot of crazy things going on around the world, so just be safe.